Muy buenas a todos, aquí yo soy de Galicia. Buenas tardes, señores. Hostia, como mola la música. Hoy os traigo Horace. Nunca jugué al juego. Voy a probar como en el mando. Mira, hay que bajar el volumen. Buah. No hay manera de... Es que no quiero tocar ninguna letra porque me está dando la sensación... What the fuck? Vale. No sé de qué va el juego, en realidad. No me digas que yo soy ese bicho. ¿Qué me está diciendo? Que toco cualquier letra, cualquier número del mando y me hace eso. No puedo saltar. No puedo saltarlo. Vale. Aprendido está. 0000001. What the fuck? What the fuck? ¿De dónde me...? Ese creo que soy yo. 12 gigas de juego esto. Madre mía, ¿no? Un poco más currado el juego y ya está. Oye, que más no se ve. ¿Qué esto es la música de Pokémon? ¿Qué carajo? Voy a cambiar la pantalla, espera. Es que de esa manera lo estoy viendo más o menos bien, ¿no? Más o menos bien, pero ahora os pongo la pantalla completa. Se ve un poco raro, pero bueno. Pues un... What the fuck? ¿Qué cojones? Que esto... mirar. What the fuck?
And so, I was born.
Está en inglés.
First people I remember seeing were the old man, the old lady,
Pero no puedo poner... Me va a dar copyright, Lo estoy viendo.
and their daughter, Heather. After
much
it said
version.
hello, the old man powered me down so he could install some software. I could tell they were nice people. The old man didn't give me a silly voice or stupid personality. And the old lady didn't dress me like a clown.
O sea que...
Although for some reason, Heather really didn't like me. Once I'd had time to get used to walking, the old man asked me to dash from one end of the room to the other.
No sé si es mejor jugar. Es que me acabo de dar cuenta una cosa. El joystick este... Sí, el joystick va como le da gana.
Next, the old man spent a couple of hours building some wooden platforms. He said he wanted me to jump up them, but I must admit, I was scared. It wasn't until I saw Heather and her mother happily climbing up them that I decided it might be okay.
Bueno, el teléfono se ve súper bien. No sé para qué plataforma está hecho. Hostia, para saltar. basicote, ¿no? O es mi mando. Que no puede hacer dos cosas a la vez. Mi mando que lo voy a cambiar claramente. Es un poco extraño el
The
juego.
old man then rearranged the platforms. He told me to try to reach the other end of the room without touching the floor. Heather said the floor's made of lava.
Eso
But
no es
when I smiled at
lava.
her, she just frowned and looked away. The old lady arranged some pillows and blankets. She said it was in case I fell, but I think she just wanted it to look more like lava.
Vale. ¿Cómo quieres que yo le dé? ¿Cómo quieres que yo le dé? ¿Cómo quieres que yo le dé a correr? Va un poco desorganizado. Buah, esto es imposible. Con el mando es imposible. No, pero no sabes lo que las jugadas que tengo que hacer aquí,
The old man just smiled.
Como el mío es numérico.
That'll do for now.
Siempre me voy a comprar uno de Xbox, que es mejor. Capítulo 1. Aprendiendo a caminar. ¡Ah, la ostris! Buah, esto de que... Que no puedo tocar nada. Voy a apoyar el mando aquí.
A couple of days after those first lessons, the family had a big meal, and I was introduced to everyone else. The professor was the old man's brother. He was very quiet, and always seemed to just kind of stare at me. He had lived with the old man for 5 years. The house was so huge they barely saw each other. He preferred instead to stay in his room, leaving everything up to his butler, Mr. Deck, as he insisted everyone call him, although the professor always called him Anton. For a while, he called me a yellow bastard, but the old man made him stop, as he thought it sounded racist. Mr. Silton was the old man's driver. Before he worked here, he'd gotten in with some bad people and was the driver in a post office robbery, although it all went wrong for some reason. Mr. Silton showed me a video of his band. I'm sure some people must like it, but I just found it terrifying. Then there was Alice. She was the cook. She was a nice old lady. When she was younger, she had been a TV chef. Then, years later, she had a small part in Coronation Street. Mr. Silton said, before she worked for the old man, Alice was quite a hoarder. She kept old newspapers and bicycles, and something about a poo in a shoebox. The next morning, the old man gathered everyone together to show them what I was capable of.
No hay manera de saltar.
What else does he do? Asked Mr. Silton. The old man smiled. He can help around the house.
Madre mía, si se
Could
escucha
you
algo
help
que
me
entran
with my
por la
newspaper
puerta.
collecting? Asked Alice. I'm not sure that's a good
Bueno, chicos,
idea,
un poco más
said the
rápido, por
old
Dios.
lady, but he can do all sorts of
¿Qué pasa? Que
jobs.
todos los
Yeah,
directos
said
que
Mr.
hago todos los días
Silton,
tienen
shove a
todo
stick up
texto.
his ass and he can do
Vale,
the
bicho, ¿cómo
job.
digo?
Now, said the old man, we have company, pointing to some important-looking people. 2 large men, both called Gary, set up what the old man referred to as lasers. He said again, I should try to get from one end of the room to the other, but I shouldn't be worried, as I had a special chip which meant no matter how damaged I was, I couldn't die. He said it was like infinite lives in a video game. But when he realized I didn't understand, He said he would explain another time.
Vale. Ay. Y yo creo que es este mando, que es una caca de vaca. Me caché. Madre mía, chico. Uy. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? No paso. Lo intenté hacer al ritmo. Mira, mira. Uy. ¿Por qué me está... va mal el ratón? A ver cómo se corre en él. Voy a jugar con el teclado, que se acabó. Va muy raro el... Mira ahora cómo se va a notar la diferencia. Me voy a volver a levantar porque estoy... Ahora que me quedé enganchado al mando, lo siento, dame un segundo. Muy bien, Yoshi. ¿Qué has hecho, Yoshi? No, voy a tener que aguantarlo así. Ah, que le den. Vamos, voy a poner un poco más arriba. ¿Ves? Aquí... Ay, qué diferencia, tío. Ese es el mando ese es una mierda. Pues se lo devuelvo, Que me... Pero cuánta gente.
Everybody clapped, except the important-looking men. Not exactly a cold, calculated killer, is it? Said the man in black. The man in grey laughed. What kind of artificial intelligence was that? He asked. Move right, unless there's something in the way. Okay, said the old man.
Ya está, ya arreglé lo del
whispered, they're going to make it quite a bit tougher, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
¿Otra vez? ¿Pero qué están haciéndome las pruebas? ¡Tu madre! ¿Y eso? Ah, amigo, por debajo. Me cago en tu madre. Ay, la virgen. Ya casi bugué el cacharro. Va un poco raro. Va un poquito raro. Es una X y la...
The old man smiled. Now, there's no need to look so dumb, he said. I'm still happy with everything
Ey, ¿cómo se desbloquea aquí esto?
you've done today.
Madre
So
mía.
this time, I was determined to do him proud.
A ver, ¿qué hay que hacer ahora? Yo me imagino que intentaré no tocar... ¡Hostia, la virgen! Lo que hay ahí. Bueno, el juego no está mal. Y como salió gratuito, yo aprovecho y os lo enseño. No, tío, que esa tecla está al revés. No puede ser, la tecla está justo al revés. No hay manera de... Os lo digo en serio, cambiaría las letras, Hostia, la virgen. Esto es donde llega.
The old man's friends actually seemed quite happy when
No
I
entiendo
made
nada.
it through. We might have a winner
Es
after
un juego
all,
de plataformas,
said the
son
man
12
in
gigas.
black.
¿Dónde están los 12
It's no
gigas?
Killbot 3000, but you can almost see the fire in its eyes.
A
A
ver.
couple of days later, the old lady said she had a
Buah.
surprise for me. My own room. She also
Mi propia
wanted to
habitación.
play me some music. I wasn't sure after what Mr. Silton had shown me.
Ah, mira, ahora... ¿Qué me estás contando?
As if music wasn't amazing enough, the old lady then bought me a television set. I couldn't believe what I saw. I watched everything I could. Comedy, drama, horror, sci-fi. Anything anyone wanted to watch I would happily watch with them. Then one day, the old man set up a small box. He plugged some cables into the television and said, "This is what I meant when I said video games." I played games at every chance I could. I took on everyone.
Master.
I was unstoppable. I had enjoyed music, film, and television. But to me, video games really were the highest art form.
¿Eso qué es la PlayStation 3? ¿O la 2? ¿O la 1? ¿O la PlayStation sin PlayStation? Bueno, no está mal. Presiona X. ¡No! ¿Qué me estás contando? Es que me está haciendo puta gracia, tío. Se veo que eres el mejor. Es que me suena la música. ¡Ey! ¿Qué? Va mal. Y además hace un frío de 3 pares de narices. Tengo que ganarle. Vale. Tengo frío en las manos y me está costando un huevo. Ahora es cuando falla. La siguiente tendrá que fallar. No falla. On fire. Ahora sí. Soy mejor en el comecocos. ¡Ey! Que tengo las manos congeladísimas. Estoy jugando con la mano izquierda, espera. Creo que es imposible. Que estoy con la mano izquierda, concha. Vale, me voy a poner más cómodo porque si no... Que es imposible, que tengo las manos congeladas. ¡Ey! No te me autolances. La estoy cagando, lo sé. Pero prefería esto más en verano que en otra cosa, pero bueno. Bueno, voy a jugar bien, intentarlo. O sea, ¿qué es de hacer fases? Uy. Que no me gustan los juegos tan simplones. Este es simploncísimo. ¿Quieres fallar ya?
Heather's birthday was a couple of months
Va,
later.
pero mola un...
Her mum and dad had bought her a
Wow.
camera and arranged a day out by the sea so that Heather could take some photos, although I really don't think she wanted any pictures of me. When the old man asked the professor if he wanted to go, he frowned and said, "I can't believe you want to spend time with that thing. It could destroy the world." I wasn't sure what he meant, but the old man just smiled and said, "That's what you said about the Game Boy. Anton, how about you?" "I don't think so," said Mr. Deck. "The last time I got in that car, Barry crashed us into a branch at Woolworths. I never would have gone into Woolworths of my own accord." The old man explained that the car was old and the brakes had failed, but Mr. Deck was having none of it. So Mr. Silton drove, and Alice came along for the fresh air.
Boom.
I enjoyed being outside. Although, the old lady kept telling me to be careful of the rickety old walkways. It felt like she was telling me off, but I think she was just concerned.
Es mucha historia, Dios mío. Venga, una gaviota. ¿Dónde está la gaviota?
As the old man and I stood on the cliff tops, I could see something in the distance. I wasn't sure what it was, so I asked the old man. He said it was a battleship that had sunk in the 1940s. But he looked so sad when he spoke about war. I didn't see what happened, but the metal platform Heather was climbing on had collapsed. She was safe, even if the rocks she was on looked very dangerous. The tide was rising, and we didn't know how long the Coast Guard was going to be, so I offered to climb down and get her. The old man agreed, but said I should be careful, as Heather doesn't have infinite lives, like I do.
¡Qué guay! Esto es otra cosa ya. ¡No! Hostia, el juego está guapísimo. ¡Salta, coño!
Heather was unconscious, and her leg was broken. So I picked her up as gently as I could. I decided it would be best if I didn't run the rest of the way.
Como mola, Bueno, si se ve desde lejos mola mucho más. Buah, está justito,
An ambulance had arrived by the time I had made it back to the cliff top. The medics made sure Heather was okay, and then took her off to hospital. A few days later, we all went to see how she was doing. She was fine, but would have to wear the cast for a couple of months.
Pobreño. ¡Oh! Que es... Buah, esa foto queda muy rara.
Once Heather got to know me, we became good friends. We enjoyed the same films and TV. She was also annoyingly good at some of my favorite games. After a while, she became very interested in how I worked. Soon she knew as much about me as the old man did, if not more.
Buah, pero...
Spent the next couple of months
mucha historia de Dios.
in countries, as when it came to teaching me things, the old man always liked to pick interesting locations. He had explained the basics of mathematics to me at the Great Pyramid of Egypt. taught me history in the dead of night, surrounded by mysterious giant stones. And even showed me science in action high up in a hot air balloon. This is why I was surprised when the old man took me to a restaurant. It was nice, but it seemed very somber compared to the previous grand locations. He said he just wanted to chat, and this was nice and quiet. Plus it was his favorite place to eat. We talked about life, the universe, Douglas Adams, everything really. When I asked him why were we here, why did we exist, he just smiled and said, life is like a game, just don't expect to be finished anytime soon. When I looked puzzled, he said, well, everyone should have a purpose. So I asked him, what's my purpose? He thought for a bit, then said, so you want to be a real boy? Which just confused me even more. Eventually the old man said, for now, I want you to help clean things around the house. I must have looked unimpressed, as he then said, okay, I want you to clean 1,000,000 things. It didn't sound like the meaning of life, but I suppose you've got to start somewhere.
Vale. Bueno, pues vamos a terminar este capítulo, por lo menos a ver. Y después lo dejamos. Buah, qué juego, tío.
The next day,
Además que
the old
tiene mucho
man
texto,
said
de
he
Dios.
wanted to install some more software, so he powered me down.
No se puede saltar.
When I came to, he said
Me gustaría
Mr.
poder
Silk
saltar.
had a joke for me, and that I should pull his finger. I don't think I got the joke.
Bueno,
So the
tendréis
old
una
man
parte
powered me
recortada de
down
las
again.
cosas básicas.
This time when I pulled Mr.
Porque
Silk's
si no,
finger, I got the joke, but it
es
wasn't
muy
very
largo.
funny.
Que está chocando
The
el
old
tráfico.
man then explained that he had installed a special chip which allowed me to clean away anything that was broken. He said it also tells me how many things are nearby, and how many smaller things are in a bigger thing. It all sounded very complicated, but he said all I really had to do was pause, and it would bring up all the information I needed. He then said he wanted me to find and clean all of the items in the room. He told me
No se te
there would be
escape.
some chains to climb, but that would be nice and easy, as I just had to press up. He then finished by saying, when I had collected all the items, I should come back here.
Un momento. Me cachi. What the fuck? ¿Yo qué soy? Coño. ¿Cómo me agarro ahí? No, vale, ya me pillé. Mierda. Ha hecho un poco complicado, Chocar con la cabeza arriba. Más abajo. Joder. Está un poquito ajustadito. Ahí. ¿Qué hace? ¿Qué me hace ese coche? El coche marcaba algo. falta. Con esta bolsa de basura me vas a decir que... ¿Qué? Ay, la hostia, voy a tener que dejarlo aquí. Pues claro. Izquierda, derecha, arriba, abajo, saltar, correr, escudos. Buah, esto lo tengo que recolocar otra vez. No entiendo. Joder. Vas como quieres, Es que es imposible. Lo siento, pero es que no está bien hecho. Si te chocas contra algo, la has liado. ¿Qué hay por ahí que te...? Vale, yo creo que se quedó bugueado. Creo. No me hagas mucho caso. Porque yo aquí no tengo nada. Pues lo voy a dejar aquí porque no... Pues no sé. No lo veo. Bueno, pues lo voy a dejar aquí. Espero que os haya gustado el directo. Dar like, comentar y suscribiros. Es que no encuentro más lo que hay que hacer. Venga, si descubro lo que pasa aquí en este nivel, os lo digo. Hasta luego. Chao.